Lonely Monk Productions. I don't know if y'all have heard the new Low Cut Connie album Living in the USA yet, but yo.
That's my Jawn!
Hey, yo, displace the guilt and embrace the pleasure. You're tasting things that don't need to be measured. What's good, friends and family, neighbors near and far? Welcome to an all-new season of the Yo, That's My Jawn podcast. The podcast, website, brand, movement, way of life dedicated to the embrace and championing of your passions. I'm your host, Nate Runkle, a.k.a. John Quixote, a.k.a. Nate 3.0, back at it again with yet another episode of this podcast. As always, I hope this podcast finds you all in good health and in good spirits. On today's episode, I am joined by director Tamra Davis. Tamra's work has influenced me throughout my entire life, from her music videos for the likes of Young MC or Sonic Youth to her movies like Gun Crazy or Billy Madison, and her documentaries on subjects from Basquiat to the history of boy bands. You know, it's her latest documentary, The Best Summer, that brought us together for a chat. The Best Summer follows the Australian festival tour Summersault from 95 and 96 that featured the Beastie Boys, Sonic Youth, Beck, Bikini Kill, the Foo Fighters, and some others. We chat about that and so much more, and that is coming up in a minute. But first, howdy, strangers. Welcome to Season 7 of this podcast. Yeah, we're getting started a little later in the year here than I expected, but we are back in action, and I got some great interviews already recorded for this season. Can't wait to share them with you. So, how's your year been so far? You get into anything good? Because I did. We had our baby. That's right. Henry Davis Dobney Runkle was born on March 15th, and he is the absolute bestest boy. You know, today's interview with Tamra was actually recorded just before he was born, and I hope to get this out sooner, but it seems that having a baby and moving is a little time consuming. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. We moved. So I'm in a whole new studio now. And if you happen to watch the video version of this podcast, this episode, this will be the final interview to take place in the old studio and the very last to feature the graffiti backdrop that I have used since the very first episode. You know, moving out of that space felt like the end of an era, so I figured we'd start anew with a whole new set design. So keep an eye out on the socials and the YouTube channel for a new studio walkthrough video ahead of the next episode. That's the main change for now. Another change, we're switching from a Monday release to a Tuesday release. Mostly because it fits my schedule a bit better to do it that way. So we're still releasing every other week, so that's not changing. But now, we're coming out on Tuesdays, not Monday. I'm also toying with revising the Jauntlet down the road. You know, I haven't settled on exactly what those changes might be yet, but don't be surprised later this season if some of those questions disappear and some new ones show up in their place. But yeah, changes are afoot. Best way to stay on top of them, as always, is to find us on the socials at Yo, That's My Jawn, or if you're looking for links to older episodes of this podcast and merch and whatnot, you can always visit the link tree for the show at yothat'smyjawn.com. And of course, it would be a huge favor to me and a total cool move if you were to rate and review us on your podcast provider of choice. Those reviews help us to get placement on the charts and whatnot. So if you could do that, I will be your best friend for life. You dig it? Dig. All right, let's get into this interview. My guest today is a legend of film, television, and music videos who cut her teeth directing music videos for some of the largest acts of the 80s and 90s across genres, including acts like The Cure, Sonic Youth, and NWA, as well as artists like Young MC, Tone Loc, and our pal G-Love. She moved on to feature-length filmmaking with her debut film Gun Crazy, starring Drew Barrymore, and she never looked back, directing classics like Billy Madison, CB4, Half Baked, and the Britney Spears vehicle Crossroads. Her latest film, The Best Summer, which she produced, directed, and shot, follows the late 95, early 96 Summersault Festival in Australia, featuring some of the biggest acts of the 90s, like the Beastie Boys, Sonic Youth, Beck, and more. Folks, it is my honor to welcome to the show, Tamra Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined today by the great Tamra Davis. Tamra, thank you for joining me on Yo, That's My Jawn.
Hi, so nice to be here.
I always like to kind of kick things off in these conversations, either with a touch point that I have with the guest or something that ties them to Philadelphia. And in your case, this was one of the surprises that came up doing research. Both of them occurred in the same exact thing, which is one of my biggest inspirations in my own musical career as an original artist was G Love. And you directed the Kiss and Tell video.
Oh, I had so much fun working with him. What a doll.
Yeah, I've had him as a guest, and we've kind of become acquaintances since then. And yeah, like that, like I don't know how that completely missed me, but that was an amazing thing to find.
Wow. Yeah. No, I love G Love. And just also, yeah, I'm always amazed at like when his name comes up in different settings. I'm always like, oh, God, that's so funny. He has that connection or that connection. So yeah,
Yeah, it's wild
full,
because
full person.
I kind of talked to him about this, but him and Beck kind of starting at around the same time was like very game changing for me
Mhm.
because I didn't know that was something we could do, which was kind
Right,
of
right.
meld hip hop and acoustic, or blues.
Yeah. Blues and acoustic. Yeah.
Because I had, it was like the old chocolate and peanut butter commercial. Like I liked this and I liked this. I just didn't know how great it would be together. And then, but
Yeah.
so we kind of connected to have a conversation about the best summer, and I absolutely adored this. It
Oh,
was
so you got to see it.
I
I'm so
did.
happy you
I
got to
did.
see it.
I saw one of I didn't actually get to go to Utah, obviously, but I did get to catch the online screening, and
Amazing.
it's just I'll tell you what, and I'll also warn you that I have ADHD, so I bounce around a lot. But watching it now, I know that it's like essentially your documentary and your home videos, but it felt like looking at my own past because so much of that
Yeah.
that time period is so integral in my upbringing. This is a weird question I have, which is when I was younger and at that age, I was somebody who recorded everything. Like I videotaped everything and I tried to document it. But when I look back at those videos, one of the things that kind of bums me out is how little I'm in the videos. Did you get any of that working on this documentary?
You know, in a weird way, I kind of liked that I wasn't in it so much because I felt like it made my point of view your point of view. And I felt that currently, there's so much content where people are like, whatever, filming their point of view, but they make themselves the main topic of the subject, whatever the main topic. And I kind of really liked being behind the camera and kind of your ambassador to whatever, taking you on this journey. And yes, yeah, but I liked that it wasn't about me. Like I wanted it to I wanted it to be a collective memory. I wanted it to be like, it felt like your memory as well. Like, yes, it's my memory and I can't, but I don't even remember it. Like I looked back at those tapes and I was like I felt like it was like a Black Mirror episode that somebody recorded what I saw, but I hardly remembered those moments that much. Like I didn't remember that I shot interviews. I don't remember. But so that I kind of liked being, yeah, so that it felt like a collective memory of a really beautiful time in music history.
Yeah, it really is because I think one of the most fascinating things about it, to me at least, and because you weren't there as a documentarian, but just somebody else on the tour, there's like. And it's wild to me too because you guys have a conversation about it in the film, but there's a lot less posturing and putting on a persona and so much
Yeah.
more like
Yeah.
hanging out and like you don't find that like
Yeah, I just thought that that was what was unique about it is, and that's why I didn't cut it. I really tried not to cut because I wanted you to feel what it was really like being there in the moment. And we've all seen documentaries a billion times where it's like the person says something really great and then you cut to something else or you put it in context. But I just wanted to put you in the room and get you to see what it was like to sit there and have these kind of conversations where there's pauses and beats and you're looking at it the way you would look at a tennis match. My camera's like Kathleen and Dave or, whatever, like it kind of try to see who you would look at. But yeah, I think like just being a peer and not being a journalist and also not being a guy. I think that people talk differently to girls. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it now? I think I read. Was there another document? Was there a documentary crew on the festival that ended up not doing something?
There was people. I remember that's like the story that Kathleen said, and I don't really remember. I know that Pav did have footage, a lot of footage. In the beginning, I thought I was going to make a documentary on Summersault, but that became more about that festival. And I was like, when I saw my footage, and then he ghosted me and I couldn't get the footage anymore. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to do with what I have. Do I have a film and the footage that only I have? So, but there was a moment where Kathleen told me when we were on a panel, whatever at Sundance, she said, that we were walking around and there were some dudes filming a documentary or like asking questions. And I think they interviewed her and she said she hated it. They asked her really stupid questions. And she was like, we could do so much better. And then she said that I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And just that thing of like when you're with two girlfriends, and I love that girl energy of it, that we're like these two kind of like, she was an opening band, so she had a lot of time during the day and I wasn't working, so I had a lot of time during the day. So we kind of hung out all the time. And she was just like, yeah, you're the kind of girl that you say, let's do it, and you do it. And I am that girl. I'm like, if we're going to do it, I'm like, I love to do stuff. Like, oh, you want to try it? Like, let's just do it. And I think like that's part of that I loved about it is the tenacious attitude of these two girls that are just like, yeah, we're just gonna I'm just gonna like ask all these people these questions, just walk right up to them.
Yeah, and it's funny, the Kathleen of it all, because I also in preparing for this rewatched no. No, I did watch
No
that.
Alternative Girls. Can
No
you
Alternative
believe that?
Girls, and it feels like a spiritual cousin to this. Like that
all
would
my
make
films are spiritual because you should look at Monk's Honor. I put that up on YouTube. That's like for sure. I just showed it to somebody. It's like one of my first films, and it's me filming. I'm like, I don't know. I was probably like 19 at the time, and I'm filming Black Flag on stage. Like I'm like, it's the craziest scene you've ever seen. And somehow, I don't know who, there's not a girl in sight. And somehow I'm on stage filming at like and then I go into the pit and I film in the pit. I just had a camera in my hand. I was like, and I still do all the time, but I'm just like, I'm the girl that was like, I put a trench coat on and probably put black around my eyes and spiked up my hair and just some canisters in my pockets and just like went to the show. Yeah.
Yeah. The other, you mentioned the spiritual cousin. All of your stuff is spiritual cousins because, like, there is a cousinry. That is, I don't even know that that's a word, but there's a cousinry to the Radiant Child that you did. In that was other footage that you had for 20 years that you were sitting on for a long time. So here's my question: what else you got in there?
I do. I have stuff. I filmed all the time. I have so much stuff. I have a lot of footage. Yeah, and I have a lot of really cool gems for sure. Yeah. But I just think like I was lucky that I grew up at a time and a place and even now where just stuff happens and then I don't know, and just that I had a camera during when stuff would happen. So yeah, I do definitely have more stuff.
That's cool.
I like it. Yeah. But I do think actually that was one of the things that inspired me about making this doc is I had just shown my original short film that I made with Basquiat before I made the feature. And it was just my interview footage with him and I, and then him painting intercut with that. And I showed it, he did a show in Athens, Greece, and I showed it and the short film was like 20 minutes long. And all these women came up to me after the film, and they were so moved by the connection that we had during the conversation. They could tell when he was looking at me. They could tell the flirtation, the smile, the twinkle in his eye, the way he spoke to me, which was way different than you speak to a journalist or a camera person. And they could see that the effect that I had behind the camera had a profound effect on the person in front of the camera. I brought out this humanity, this person. And so they felt all those looks because he's looking at me. They felt like he's looking at you. So they were like, oh, he's so charming, he's so cute, whatever. And I was like, oh, that's how he looks at me. Like you're getting my view of him. And so that really was profound to me. And I really also felt like, wow, as a girl, like the thing that you're trying to be a filmmaker and you feel like you have so many obstacles against you, what are your strengths? And I was like, wow, that is a strength. And so when I looked back at my footage for The Best Summer, I realized that all those charming looks from like Beck telling me he wants to wear his shorts, or I'm telling Steve Malcolmus he looks like he's in a Calvin Klein ad, or, all those cute things. They're what a girl sees and what a girl's point of view is. And I really enjoy that aspect of it, of showing that, just that viewpoint. I think there's something really refreshing in that.
Absolutely. One of the things about rewatching No Alternative Girls was I don't know why I wasn't prepared for this, but I got really sad seeing Viv. And so I started to kind of think back
Jackson.
to, what was that? Sorry. Oh yeah.
Luscious Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah. What's that challenge like in cutting footage, cutting footage like the Basquiat stuff and all, where you're revisiting old friends, but also remembering that they're not here any longer.
I know. Well, that was why I thought it was just so beautiful. I remember, even I make a big deal about that guy, Jimmy, because those are the kind of people you meet on your summer camp and you're like, oh, remember that guy, Jimmy, and so, but Jimmy's not with us anymore. So it's just like, we see that there's people that, have an impact on you and you had a special moment with them and you're like, wow, they're not here, and how important it is to honor that memory as well. And give them a voice. And I don't know, I really liked revisiting that. And I also liked that there's no context. I'm not telling you that, oh, this person's not with us anymore, so that, because when I'm watching it, I'm not feeling that at that moment. It's only in retrospect. And I remember I had done like a rough thing that was kind of like a tour diary. And then I started working with my editor. And the first time we watched it straight through, I got to the end and I was just sobbing. I was just like, oh my God. Because it's just this, rush of memories of this amazing time where, Sonic Youth are still together. Mike and I are still together. Yauk is still alive, and we were all so happy, and the crowds were like just so like you could touch them, and it just was this time that it's not here anymore. So I loved it. It was like a sob that made me so happy, but also like a melancholy of like, wow, what an incredible time we had.
Yeah. It's great that you kind of refer to it like camp, because like I kind of think about like what life used to be like before cell phones and before the internet and stuff like that. And, you would have like, I've gone through I've been trying to get everything off of VHS and mini DV and stuff before it all deteriorates in my basement. But, going through it, like there's, like I said, seeing friends who aren't with us anymore and stuff like that, or even friends that are still with us, but I haven't talked to in maybe 35 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Because you could meet somebody, spend an entire summer with them, and then not have a way to contact them because you didn't have their phone number, or the number
I remember
changed.
Kathleen said that after she saw the film, she was like, "Oh my God, I thought Pat Smear and I were going to be friends forever after that tour." She said, "We never spoke again." And I was like, "Yeah, that's what happens. You're on summer camp, but yet you see the moment that her and Adam Horovitz connect, and you're like, oh my God!" And they've been married for 30 years, and you get that. She can't even look at him when she's asking him a question, and I'm teasing her. I'm like, maybe my tape's not rolling. I'm like, come on, repeat the line. Look at him, And she won't even. She can't even look at him. Yeah.
Well, that was one of the amazing things because, like I said, I did actually rewatch The Punk Singer recently,
Oh,
and like
cool.
so as I'm watching The Best Summer and that's happening, I'm like, oh my God, this is it! Like
That's
it
the
was just.
moment.
It was
Yeah.
like it made it that much more magical because like it was front of mind that like this is happening and we're
Yeah.
watching it. Like,
Yeah. It was that moment. Yeah. I kind of.
so,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
No, just that I like that the audience discovers that as well, that you see it happening, that it's not like, you know, yeah, I just like that that's happening. Yeah. And you see like an actual moment. Yeah.
Yeah. I think one of the other things that is wild to me is the Dave Grohl scene,
Oh,
mostly
okay.
because, like, it's pre Dave Grohl. You know what I mean? Like, even though he was
April.
the
Yeah.
drummer of Nirvana, it's like pre, like, you
Well, it's
know,
really about him finding his voice, and I
yeah,
feel like I made it real clear the film's made in 1995. So Kurt dies 1994. So I'm hoping people know this history going into it because this is like Foo Fighters. I think it's their first international tour. Like it's early, 1 year since Kurt. So when he's saying he's doesn't really like singing and like he likes hanging out with his friends and he likes jumping around, but like talking to people and singing is really hard for him. So that's like the beginning of the tour. But by the end of it, he's, I love you, I love you. He's like the front man talking to everybody on reaching out to everyone, connecting. You just loves talking to people and then just comes out. Yeah, so I just feel like you really see him find his voice in the film as well as a lead singer.
what amazed me about that is I've seen the Foo Fighters a lot. And I wouldn't even call myself like a deep fan or anything. I just really think they're incredible live. And one of the reasons I enjoy it is because Dave always comes across to me as someone who appreciates where he is and that he gets to be there. So to
Yeah.
hear him early on talk about how he doesn't like to talk to the crowd and he doesn't feel comfortable up there, being the front man or whatnot is amazing to me because that's what I like about him. And he
Well,
just
that's
wasn't.
what he is like now, but in the beginning he wasn't. He really had to find his voice. Yeah. Cuz yeah, his that's what he's so great at now. But that's why it's so beautiful to see baby Dave, just figuring out like having to be like, okay, this is the new thing. I've got to be this guy now. And who is that guy? Is he like, hey, like, and he kind of imitates like what a lead singer could be like. And he's like, I can't be like that. That's not, he's going to be who he is. So I think that that's really beautiful. But yeah, man, I really had never seen Foo Fighters play live. Of course, why they were such a new band, and I'm like looking at Dave, who was great, but I'm just like Pat Smear. I'm like, oh my God, that performance it's just blows me away. Like I couldn't stop looking at him. And then later, it was funny, Kathleen. I was sitting next to her during a screening on one time, and she leans over to me because there's like a whole subtext of laundry throughout the film. And she looks over at me and she's like, that's my skirt. He's wearing my skirt. And so somehow in all the laundry, whatever, like, yeah, he's wearing her skirt in that scene. You see her wearing it later on too. It's like they switched it back and forth, but it just made me laugh so hard because I was like, is he wearing a skirt in this scene? And Kathleen's like, that's my skirt. Yeah.
It's so great. There has been this a bit of for me this kind of this like the best summer came at the perfect time because I've been very nostalgic for that
Yeah.
period because I just I don't know
People
if you've
really are.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, I don't know if you read it or not, but I read Roddy Bottum's memoir.
Oh, yeah, I did. I did a Faith No More video, but I
Yeah.
heard about that.
And so, like, I've just been like kind of living in this time period, and one of the things that I really, appreciate is like I like any chance where Kathleen gets her due. Uh, because I think she's a really important figure in music
Such an important. Yeah.
who kind of like, I don't want to say that people look down on her, but I think people downplay her importance. And so like when I think I sent you a link that I got to talk to Christy Jacobson, who did the Louder doc, and I told her, like, I'm watching it, and when it gets to the Riot Girl section, like I was just like, yes, like.
No, it's amazing. That's why I like loved working on that film and just, you know, yeah, I think she's such a hugely important cultural person. What she's did for, yeah, just like, and also still she really, that's her practice. She really is that person. And I loved her book as well. She's just amazing. Yeah, and I also like ever since the day I first like heard her music and discovered her, I've just always wanted to be close to her. She's that girl that you wish you were in a way. She's that little firecracker, amazing, whatever, you
Yeah,
know, steel
she's
toe combat boot and a skirt, like girl that I just love it. Yeah.
She is a dream guest of mine, and I keep getting turned down. But if you want to put a
Um,
word in, no, I'm just kidding. It's fine. I
yeah. Now I know
understand about you.
she's doing her own podcast as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, she's the coolest.
So, like I said, I like to bounce around. I want to go way, way back because this was another one of the things that jumped out at me. You were working as an intern or production on One from the Heart. My lord, like that's like. That's
I feel like it's like you're saying it's like, yeah, one of these like D.W. Griffith movies. But no, yes,
it
I was
is
on.
to me. That's the thing. Like it's one of my like favorite movies because like not because of the product itself, but because
No, no,
of
how they made it. That was
yes.
insane. I was there. It was insane. Yeah, I was
Um
there. I witnessed that. Yeah, I wrote a story about it. But yes, I mean, I thought it was amazing. And I cannot, yeah, what an incredible experience. But yeah, I finagled my way onto that set. And it was great. I knew Nastasia, and yeah, and I just like I got and for some reason when I showed up, she asked me to come to set, and then when I showed up, I saw that there were all these kids from across the street because it was at the Zoetrope Studios, and there's like some high school across the street, and they were doing this like high school assistance program where they let high school students follow like a crew member around, and I was like, oh, so I figured out like I just went up. I asked one of the producers if I could shadow him part of the high school assistance program, and they said yes. So I like snuck my way onto that, and I got to be on that set all the time, kind of under this because they were like used to having these high. And I was, I don't know how old I was, maybe 19 or 18. I looked like a high school student, so I finagled my way onto the set, and you know, yeah, and then I just, whatever, I was a cute girl, so it didn't, Coppola was totally fine with having me just sit there, or anybody was like, I just noticed that people like sharing their craft. If you're curious and you know how to behave and you could be quiet and not make a big thing, like people love to share what they do and their craft and talk to you about it and stuff like that. So I was so lucky. I got to sit in his. He was direct. It was the first movie that was they videotaped while they were shooting with live video assist, and he was sat in his Airstream with the cameras coming in with the recorder that went to the stage giving direction on this big huge sound stage while he watched these tapes inside. And yeah, so I watched that. Yeah, it was an incredible experience. And then that was like a film that was shot in sequence, which is just unheard of. And so many in-camera techniques that were just like mind-blowing. So yeah, I was like a kid in a candy store. I just loved it. Loved, loved, loved.
speaking of spiritual cousins, I feel the same exact way about Megalopolis because, like, I don't even
Haven't
know
seen
what
it. I have to watch it. I know.
I,
It's
I don't even know
crazy.
that I understood what I saw, but like
Probably
like,
never will.
but just that it
But it
exists,
exists. Yeah, I know.
especially
I
in
need to see it.
especially
He's
like in
such
a
a
now.
genius, but he's like he just thinks so big, you know.
Yeah. So you get your start in kind of music videos and whatnot, and that's another thing that I kind of burned through. Where like there were ones I knew, obviously the Sonic Youth stuff, Nettie Girl, I knew. I didn't know Bop. Like,
I know. I did so many. I did 150 music videos at least. I did so many music videos.
yeah, and there's like
That's why when you
13
bring
of
up G
them.
Love, I'm like, oh yeah. I feel like, yeah, I did a lot.
It's
Yeah, I
it's
did a lot of
it's
music.
incredible too because watching your style change from like in the Bengals video all the way through like just all of it like all the way through to like another one I didn't know, the Beavis and Butthead and Cher I Got You Babe, like
Oh, I did so many videos. You know, I had so much fun, and I only did videos for things that I loved because I'm a fan. I'm the biggest fan ever. And so if I like something, I'm having fun and it's authentic, and I get to work with people that I just love and that I'm the biggest fan of. So, like, I direct as a fan, so you're really getting my love, you know? So, like, I just have I yeah, so that's kind of yeah, all those things are and so it changes because I direct as a fan, so I direct what would that fan want to see. So that's why my videos they look different. I remember doing in 1 month like an NWA video like for the DOC and a Bette Midler from a distance. You know, so I was like doing like the most different kind, but I wasn't like I had a style and I was going to put my style on them. I was like, if I was an NWA DOC fan, what are my influences? What do I want to make it look like? You know, I mean, like a black and white kind of gritty noir thing versus, you know, if I'm a Bette Midler video, you know, what is that going to look like? Like this kind of fair, you know, whatever. So I just feel like I was more moved about by being a fan than my style. Yeah. Other than,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I like that because like this whole yo that's my Jawn thing started because I just like things. Like there's things I
Yeah.
like that like the whole subplot of this or the subtitle of this is displace the guilt, embrace the pleasure because I don't believe in
Yeah.
guilty pleasures. I just like if you like something like it. And like I'm a big,
Beautiful to
is
like something. It's so nice to have a passion about something. That's a beautiful
yeah.
thing that we have as humans. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like I've always gravitated towards pop music, like and like not even as I used to kind of like shun it because I didn't want to be known as the pop guy. But that's one of the things that I think is truly brilliant about kind of your music video filmography is that, and not just music video, your movies as well, because like you can do something, as Indian Raw as Gun Crazy, and then you can do Crossroads, and you can live in both worlds, and it doesn't feel like somebody playing in a playground they're not meant to be in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, to me, I was just as much in love with Drew Barrymore as I was with Britney Spears. And the fact that I got to share that time with those two incredibly talented, amazing cultural icons, dream. Like
Yeah.
I can't even believe it. And they are similar, you know what I mean? Like in ways and yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, Child Star, went through it,
Yeah.
all of it. Here's a on the Drew tip. Here's a question. So Bad Girls, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought in this world of IP and reboots and stuff like that, pitching an opportunity to do what you originally wanted to do?
Be so fun to go back and do it. I made that movie in my head, so it exists as clear as any of the other movies I've made. So It was such a good movie. Yeah, I had like this ragtag girls in the West, and I did so much research from West at the time and like women in the West, and it was bawdy and funny and I don't know. Yeah, and I know they were like, "You're making a feminist Western," and I'm like, why would that be so bad? What's wrong with that? Like we've had enough macho Westerns for so long. What would be wrong with the girls' version? So yeah, who knows? Yeah, yeah. I mean, right,
Because
it probably wouldn't be possible because it would be, all there was a lot of money that was spent on that script and that thing, and that's the way Hollywood works. It's like a debt on something. But
yeah.
yeah, my friend Becky wrote that script. She had just won an Academy Award for, Prince of Tides. Like it was a good script. It just went, yeah, it's like sometimes that happens in Hollywood, like it all
Yeah.
blows up and you have to figure out like, does that define you? Like, does that mean like, okay, that's the end of your career? Or are you going to be like me, badass, and be like, no? And that's when I made No Alternative Girls. I'm like, the Hollywood can't tell me I'm not a filmmaker. If I put a camera in my hand and make a film, I'm a filmmaker. And so, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did No Alternative Girls. And then I walked on to the set of Billy Madison and replaced their fired director. Yeah. So I did like the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's my Bad Girls pitch for you. Six episode limited series on a streamer,
Yeah, it would be amazing.
right?
I
Um,
know.
um,
It
uh,
was so good. I totally see it. It was so gorgeous looking too. We shot like 3 days. It was stunning.
I believe it. I believe it,
Yeah.
especially because like I revisited some clips from Gun Crazy, and like there is a Western feel to that as well.
Totally. I love Western feel. Yeah. And it was with that same DP, Lisa Rinsler, who's, at that time, especially that, I'm sure she's a genius now. But yeah, she was just great. She shot Gun Crazy. And then I introduced her to Alan and Albert Hughes, and she did Dead Presidents. And was that their first movie?
That
Their movie. I don't know if Dead Presidents was their first one.
I think that was second. I think
Menace to
Menace was
Society. They did
first.
Menace
Yeah.
to Society and then Dead President. She shot both those. Yeah,
Oh,
she was like an amazing DP. So
yeah.
cool.
Um,
Yeah.
you you
Hollywood is just whatever. You can always think of the career you could have had, and then you just are so grateful for me to have a career at all. You're just like try to push it through in things where it's not really possible, but you just make it possible. Enjoy the ride.
Yeah. In my deep dive research, I was reading some press from around the time of Gun Crazy, and I think you had just wrapped production on CB4, possibly, and we're working
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
And there's a thing in there where you say you're not built for comedy, and you don't want to do another comedy ever again. And then you did
I don't know
Billy
why I would have
Madison.
said that. That seems like a weird quote because I loved comedy. That'd be weird for me to say that. Who knows? Because that's my past is that my grandfather was one of the top comedy writers in Hollywood, and I lived with my grandparents. And he wrote for Milton Berle and Sammy D, like every top comedian. And yeah, when I was a kid, I lived with them, like probably from like 15, 16. And my job was he would write jokes all day, and then I had to separate the jokes and put them on 3x5 cards with whatever topic it was and file them in a filing cabinet. And so it were all these one-liners, and like it would be like if like Reagan needed to speak about firefighters, my grandma would be like, "Go get me a whole pile of firefighter jokes," and if he told one of my grandfather's jokes, we would get paid. And so, but then we would always like, it was right above Sunset Boulevard. He lived on Miller Drive, and that's like the height of punk rock days. And so I'd always have like a bunch of punks staying with me down in the basement, and we would just be high and just reading these one-liners. It was the funniest thing ever. So yeah, I know. So that would be a weird quote because I feel like
I might have
comedy.
read it wrong.
Okay, I'm like, I feel like I was born for comedy. I love.
Well, because that's what I was going to say. Because then you
Yeah,
do
yeah.
a
No, I'm the best. Yeah, I did the 3 for Universal. Yeah, with 3
Yeah.
unknown comedians
And
that just for me, I thought were the funniest guys I'd ever met.
Yeah, and not just the leads, but like like Billy Madison might be pound for pound like the most stacked, talented,
It's
like
so funny. We had the best time. But yeah, that was like, yeah, we that started as a disaster and then we turned it around.
here's
They'd
so
only
here's
shot 3 days, so it wasn't that bad.
okay. Here's my Billy Madison question for you, and this is me restrained because literally I could spend 5 hours just going and then tell me something Norm did, but no, uh, uh,
I
I
don't know what
always
makes
love,
it unfold.
yeah, I always loved the musical scene in the middle, and I always was like, with as much as you do music videos and all, there has to be a musical in you. And then I don't know how the fuck I missed 13.
I know, I did 13. Yeah, it was so fun.
I
Yeah, I did
I
that for Netflix. That was so fun to work with all these talented young children. Loved it. I went from like, I mean, I have like a sort, sometimes musicals, I didn't like them, but like as a kid, like I was like, oh, I hate musicals. And then you realize like when a music video works really well, it's a good musical. And then when I did 13, and I had 13 the musical, and I got to work with, these luminary Broadway people. I just like did my homework and really studied, and then just had such a fun time. I mean, there's nothing better than working with talented young people. I mean, I found that when I did High School Musical, the musical, the series, whatever that show's called, that I just had the best time. I felt like I was working with puppies and kittens all day long. I was just like in love. It was my favorite thing ever.
a lot of TV work done, including a lot of shows that I didn't realize you jumped in for an
Wait,
episode
before
here.
you go on, I do want to go
Yeah.
back to Billy Madison because you just mentioned Norm
Oh,
Macdonald. I want to
go
say one
go.
thing that so remember I first, after I did CB4, Universal wanted me to do Billy Madison. So they flew me out to meet Adam, and we got, I met him, I liked him, he liked me. But then he was like, oh, I'm going to hire his friend. So he hired his friend, and I was like, oh, okay. But I'd read the script and I met with him. So then they fire his friend on a Wednesday, and I fly out on a Thursday with the president of Universal to take over the movies, and we're going to start shooting on Monday. So I get there, and I meet who his two friends are, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm like, these are your two friends, and it's Norm Macdonald, like this old guy, and that other guy who was supposed to be Chris Farley, but it didn't work out, and so I was like, I just was so confused, but it's also that thing where you have to trust when you work with a comedian that that's their brand of humor. I had to just jump on board and just like get down with it. But it was just so funny. I was so confused. I was like, wait a minute, like if you read the script, like he's with his two buddies, and then you get there and you're like, no, like this guy's like 20 years older than you, Adam. Like I was so confused, and then the maid that had all this sexy dialogue, I was expecting this, no idea. And I was like, that's the maid. Like I just had to be like, I trust your humor. Let's just go for it and had fun. So sorry, I just had to go back because like when I first met Norm Macdonald, I was so confused. And then I, of course, fell in love with him and thought he was hilarious.
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. And never apologize. You can, again, talk Billy Madison all you want. And Half Baked is another one. One of the weirdest things in the world is that, I guess it's not weird, but the night that my wife and I got married, we went and saw Harlan Williams at a club in Philly. And then
He's so
after
fun.
and then afterwards ran into him at Shake Shack. So
Oh,
so we
how
have a
fun.
post wedding photo of Harlan and us at Shake Shack. Um, but so
Love.
you have this run of like doing TV and stuff like that. And does TV scratch the creative itch or of directing?
Yeah, I mean, to me, anytime I'm making it, sitting at the chair, whatever, making a film, whatever that is, yes, anytime. It doesn't matter if it's a music video, a TV show, a movie, my cooking show. It doesn't matter. Documentary, anything that you're creative and you're making a film, like you're making product, you're putting something, it's like being a painter or a writer to me. It doesn't matter the medium. I'm still creating that. So, yeah, it's also the career of a girl or a woman, it was a very specific thing that I had made all those movies, but I was also starting to be in my late 30s. And I was like, okay, I really wanted to have babies. Like I would love children. And I was like, okay, I really want to have a baby with my husband. And so, yeah, Mike and I, yes. And then I was just like, okay, trying to have a baby. And I just didn't want to do features personally because I knew the commitment and the time and have a baby. So TV really allowed me to be a mom and have babies. And I had two babies, and that they're now grown. They're now in their early 20s, 21, 23. But I was like, that's kind of the choice that I made, is that, and TV is like, yeah, you could work on a TV show for just a week or 2 weeks or whatever, and then you can go back and be a mom.
Yeah, I was always curious because, it's always the stage is like a playwright's medium, the film is a director's medium, and I always felt like TV was
They say TV is a writer's medium, is what they say. But you know what it is? Like, I got to work with some of the most talented actors I've ever, like, I remember there was like a year that I got to work with Elijah Wood, Daniel Radcliffe, and what's the kid from Hunger Games? That kid,
Josh Hutcherson.
Josh, yeah. Like I just was like, what? Like I'm in fantasy land. Like, working with those actors that are so talented, that are parts of huge IP. I don't know. I just had the best time. And so I liked walking onto a set. Like part of directing is also you work as a team. It's a team job. And a lot of it really is this communication and the camaraderie and the people that you get to work with and getting the best performances out of these people and those relationships. And I just having the opportunity to work with different DPs and production designers and cast and crew and also a lot of shows I would walk on. I kind of could save them, like come on and be like, give them their best show, or like show them how they can be efficient. Like you'd come on and you'd kind of like have the best time with the actors, and you'd give everybody like a boost where they feel great about who they are and they want to continue, and you give a good episode, and it's just, that's super fulfilling, and not having that responsibility to be able to be like, okay, I shot it, now it's your thing, I can walk away and do something else. There's something nice about that. And I also got to do a bunch of pilots, and all my pilots, I think I have a batting 100 on my pilots. Every pilot I did got made. So and that there you really do have the control of a director, whatever feature film director. But I don't know. I got to direct Grey's Anatomy. That was like my favorite show ever. And to be able to walk onto those sets and like direct Meredith, I was like, oh my God, like I said, I'm a fan. So I loved it. I loved. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like reuniting with old friends on TV shows? So like you did Santa Clarita with Drew.
I know. I got to work with Drew again. Amazing. Yeah. And I got to do The Politician, and I worked with Gwyneth, and yeah, like I think like that part is really fun because you have, yeah, it's always great when you get to work with the people that you love and you're friends with. Yeah.
Yeah. And was Luke Wilson in the Stargirl episode that you did? Yeah. Also.
Yes. Yeah. That was so fun. Yeah, because you have history, and you just remember all these things that these key memories. Like I remember Luke Wilson walking up the path to my doorway, and like his, he had like Birkenstocks, and he brought Drew daisies on their first meeting, to introduce them for the cast. And you're just like, on another movie I did with Drew and Luke, and you're just like, oh, I remember. And then having, they did a sex scene, and like we shot their sex scene, and then the next day I couldn't talk to either of them. They both fallen in love, and it was like, that's it. I lost him. Like I'd be like, Luke, come back to me. And he was just gone. He was a goner. So I just, love all the history of all that stuff, especially, because I've been lucky enough to have good memories on all those things. Yeah.
One of the other reuniting that I want to ask about, and then we'll kind of jump into my questionnaire that I put everybody through,
Yeah.
is Larger Than Life, the boy
So,
band documentary,
oh my God.
which, like I said, I'm a huge pop fan. What was it like reuniting with Hanson as adults?
I had not seen them in that long. Yeah, that was insane because I mean, that's how I met them is like they gave me their passport photos was all I saw. And then I knew the Dust Brothers did the track because I knew them from, I did Wild Thing and Funky Cold Medina and Bust a Move, all those Delicious Vinyl things. And so I was like, who are these kids? And I took one look at the middle kid, the 12-year-old Taylor, and I was like, if I was a 12-year-old girl, I would lose it over this boy. I was like, that's it, game over. And so my fangirl, so I just thought they were the cutest boys. I couldn't believe that I got to work with them. I couldn't believe that I got to to have late night conversations talking to them about their creative ideas, and that's all the stuff they wanted to do, so that's why they look like they're having so much fun, is because that's what they want to do. And that's my key. I was like, make the artists have fun and do what they want to do, and then you get a great performance. So we just had so much fun. Yeah, I hadn't seen them in 30 years. I saw them again. They're just beautiful. They were so fun. It was great to go back to their hometown. I saw them in Tulsa, and that was it just was love, so much past history, and just loved seeing them and loved seeing what they're up to, and that they're still going strong and doing it their own way, the way they, that they're still tour, they're still doing records. They're all surviving, they have they're doing it, but they're doing it their own way, and that's super cool. But it was also, I got to reunite again with the new kids, like Dawn, that was really amazing. I did a New Kids video when they were at their height, so that was really fun. Yeah, I loved it. I had the best time. I love boy
That's
bands.
great. Me too. As a matter of fact, Hanson and the Spice Girls, I wrote a thing about it because they were the two that pulled me out of pretending I don't like pop in public.
Yeah.
Those two just made me be unapologetic about how much I just love a good pop
They
song.
just make you happy. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
fun.
And one of the things that I thought the documentary captured very well is that I have in the past 2 years gone to see New Kids on the Block, and I've seen Joey McIntyre solo. And the audience, it's like they're kids again, man. And it's a beautiful thing.
They bring love. Yeah. The audience is so happy to see them, and they're just so committed. Yeah. It's just beautiful. It's really happy to see how much joy they bring to the people. And that's yeah. Yeah, it's so fun to see.
It's awesome. All right, so this is called the Jauntlet. These are the
Oh, yeah.
questions that I run everybody through. It starts with the one-hit wonders. You're just picking a favorite.
Okay, but I'll just show you. Okay, you'll see.
Okay, you're just picking a favorite. All right, Billy Joel or Elton John?
I'd say Elton. Mike would want me to do Billy Joel, but I'm an Elton John.
Okay. Debbie Harry or Joan Jett?
See, I like both of them a lot. I don't know how you could choose between the two of them. I don't know.
Okay,
I'm
that's fair.
50-50.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You've got Blondie, and then you've got, I saw the Runaways. I knew Cherie, so I'm like Joan Jett.
Oh yeah. Do you want to hear my most random pitch if I ever get asked to direct something? That is, I want to remake Light of Day, the Joan Jett film, except for I want it to star Billie Eilish and Phineas.
Aww,
right?
Yeah.
How about it?
Joan's amazing. Yeah, and I saw her again because she did the Rebel Girl with Kathleen. So I knew her from back in the day, from Sugar Shack in the Valley. And then, to see her again with Kathleen was amazing.
That's so cool.
See, I don't know how people would choose between the two. People have a division between those two that they would like one over the other.
I know, it's tough.
There's no way.
Okay, that's fair.
I'd say no way.
Nirvana or Pearl Jam?
Well, there it's obvious. Sorry, Nirvana's. That's why I don't understand. Maybe to other people, Aretha and could be honest, but okay, go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, Janis Joplin or Stevie Nicks?
I have to say, I probably listen to more Fleetwood Mac than I listen to Janis Joplin, but two of the most amazing performers ever. Janis Joplin, amazing. Yeah.
Definitely.
Mercedes-Benz, Lord, I don't know. Yeah, we could not decide, but and they're also a bit different eras, so it's a bit harder. Like one's really from the '60s, late '60s, and the other's '70s. So it's
There's no
hard.
wrong answers.
Yeah,
Beatles or the Stones, the old cliche.
I know. I don't think anybody could switch to. I don't know. Yeah, again, like I'm the worst with that because I love both of them. How could you? How could you choose?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I think there's probably people that would be like mean to the Beatles and go for the Stones, and people that are just like, oh, the Stones are just whatever and go for who knows. But would never decide on those two.
Fair. The last one of the one-hit wonders, Bohemian Rhapsody or Stairway to Heaven?
That one I would say Stairway to Heaven.
Okay. Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do
I
like
was a
to
big
occasion-
Zeppelin fan. Big
Oh,
Zeppelin.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I do like to send every once in a while a guest-specific one. And for you, because you did that documentary, Backstreet Boys are in sync.
I kind of would say in sync.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Although I was happy, my Backstreet Boys were all over the Super Bowl this year, so I'm just psyched that they're like so huge. Nicest guys.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
The second half of this is the top 10 countdown. In this, we use Jawn to be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be music. It could be anything you want. So the first one, what was your first, Jawn? What was the first thing you were obsessed with as a kid?
Probably skateboarding.
Yeah.
Or the cute boys in skateboarding. Yeah.
It's awesome. Number two, what's your current Jawn? What are you into right now?
I would say I'm kind of like a little bit on a Shakespeare thing. Shakespeare.
Yeah?
Really, I'm into Shakespeare right now. Yeah.
Would you ever try to tackle an adaptation?
I might be doing something documentary-ish, but yeah, I would love to. I mean, I think any kind of adaptation of a Shakespeare it's classic. Yeah, and fairy tales. Oh my God, I love fairy tales.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love classics. Yeah.
Awesome. Number three, what was your first concert, first live show you ever saw?
I mean, I always say that my parents, when we were kids, they took us to an Alice Cooper concert. So was it like the one I chose? I think I probably went to a David Bowie concert as my first choice, but my parents I totally remember going to see Alice Cooper at the Hollywood Bowl.
Awesome. Bowie was my first two concerts, but my parents made the choice, but also I would have made that choice too. So the first one I think I made by myself was probably Screaming Trees.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Number four, what was your last concert you went to?
I went to a great concert this weekend. Doug Aiken did a film, and Mike and my boys and a couple of their amazing musicians did the live score to it. So it was like a concert to a Doug Aiken movie. That was beautiful. So I think to me that was a concert because it was a beautiful live show. Yeah.
Totally counts. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Number five, what's your favorite concert you ever saw?
Man, I would say the best summer.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah.
I like it. Stay on brand. I like it.
Yes.
Number six, who have you never seen live that you wish you could have? They can be living or dead.
Yeesh. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I probably would like to see a Beyonce concert. I've never seen a live Beyonce concert. I think that would be fun. I don't know. Yeah, I'd say or Kendrick Lamar. I mean, I saw Kanye. That was great when back in the day, Kanye. Yeah, I'd say I got to see Nirvana. I got to see like some amazing bands. I have never seen Billie Eilish live. I think she would be beautiful to see. I just love her voice. Yeah.
Her brother Phineas released my favorite album of last year, which is he and Ash put a group together called The Favors, and that album is beautiful.
Oh, good to know. I'll write it down. Favors.
Yeah, that was my suggestion. Number seven, name an unappreciated Jawn, something you wish more people paid attention to.
Oh man, what do I wish people paid more attention to? That part's hard. I guess I think people should pay more attention to surfing.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
I think it's just a fun, amazing sport that's beautiful and wild and in the ocean and so unpredictable. And it's just, I don't know, I think amazing athletes, and I don't think it gets the love that professional sport should get. Yeah.
Great answer. Great answer. Number 8, favorite album.
I mean, like, sometimes I say Pet Sounds or Paul's Boutique or Sergeant Pepper, Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I don't know, like, there's so many. Radiohead, like Kid A. There's just too many. Too
Yeah,
many.
I get it. What's in like top 10 of mine of favorite albums, and also falls under unappreciated, Jawn, that kind of we briefly discussed is the Co-Stars album that Jill and Viv put out. I
Oh,
love that
yeah.
album.
Like with the K, right? With
Yeah,
the,
classics
yeah,
with a K. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. They're, I know. Yeah, even like, yeah, those like side albums, like In Sounds of the Way Out, and yeah, the
Yes.
Leslie Jackson record. They just did a reissue of that. So good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
the lot of great stuff there. I also the other one I gotta get, well, not but another Grand Royal release is the Bismarcky doing Benny and the Jets is one of my
That was
favorites.
amazing. That was
So,
amazing.
it's good times.
I was there. I was
You were
there.
oh God,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, because, yeah, I was there.
Number 9, name an artist whose output you'll consume anything they release.
I would say probably Radiohead. Yeah, Radiohead. I probably would consume anything Radiohead put out.
Yeah, definitely. The 10th and final of the top 10 countdown. What is your favorite Jawn of all time? Can be anything you want it to be.
My favorite thing that I love of all time.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm into my kids right now. Like they're musicians. They're the last song on the in the movie. They're
Oh, really?
Yeah, that song "Don't Worry." Yeah, I like their music because they're new and they're fresh and they're playing with all these like new musicians, and I love what they're doing. I love all their influences, like where they're pulling stuff from. Yeah, so I kind of yeah, and I just like watching them, and of course because I'm their mom, but also I like stuff. I like what they're doing because it's so new and fresh.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. I love it. Here's a random question I'm going to throw in. I'm about to have my first son in four
Oh, see, you're
weeks.
gonna be like me. You're gonna be like, my favorite thing is my kid.
Yeah, yeah, it's already happening, and he's not even here yet. What is one piece of advice you can give me in parenthood?
Right? Oh my God. It's all love. Yeah. Patience and love. Yeah, you're just like, yeah, I don't know. If you're having a boy,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a beautiful thing. And it's for a dad, it's really special.
Yeah, I'm excited. I really never thought, like, I'm an old guy. I never thought I was going to have a kid, and now
So
he's going to
exciting.
be here very
Yeah.
soon.
I mean, I just feel like I put them first. I always felt like, oh, I'm going to be a mom. And like, I felt like you're always going to be a mom. And you are. But like the time that you're a dad where they really need you is actually a very small, focused amount of time when you consider your entire life, you know? So it's like they really need you when they're young. And then they need you when they're a teenager. But you also have to try to loosen the reins at the same time. So it's like they need you, but you can't, they don't need you like they needed you before. You have to let them go and find their own way. And
Yeah,
so it's just that thing of like knowing how important it is for you, like, because I was like, wow, I put so much time into my career and myself. Like, take that time to just be a good mom. And I think that by doing that and spending those years doing television and just being a good mom and putting them first, now they're benefit from that. You know, they benefit from that love and that support that a parent gave them. And so now I'm not all fretting and worrying about them at this age because they have solid foundation and they're confident and they're beautiful people. And so I feel like that time that you put in, you get it back later, but also that it's like when you make a good kid, it's like they're on their own now. So now you have your life back again, and whatever. Like I had probably my most productive career later in life when I was like, they were older and I was a single mom. Yeah. So I just feel like it's just, it transitions. But I think like in this beginning, like you've put so much time towards yourself, like just put them first for a while and just really grow a beautiful, plant, like a beautiful child,
Oh,
and
it's
just
beautiful.
really, yeah,
Oh, I love
it's
it. Thank you.
important. Yeah.
There is one other thing I want to mention, which is during the Q&A for the best summer, you said something that made my brain explode because I hadn't thought about it before, and there's obvious reasons. But when you mentioned having a film at Sundance as an older director, an older female director, and how rare that is, it fucked with my head because because I always think that like, oh, we started to do better, like in the 90s we had like, like Gwen Turner and like I always, and then I just when you said that, I started thinking about it and I'm like, oh, we don't let them make films anymore. Fuck. Like it's gross.
It's gross. Yeah, and I feel like I fought it my whole life. When I was young, I tried to be a director in my early 20s. I was laughed at. It was like, oh, now I'm too young. And then you like work your whole life. And I remember like I had just had my kids and I was like in my 40s and there you were like, oh, it's over. You're too old. And I was like, what the fuck? And then yeah, and just knowing like the thing of just trying to be like, what does age look like for a woman? And is your career over? Like, and reversing that narrative and being like, no, I don't, I like always fighting against that narrative. And that it's important to celebrate it and be like, we're here. This is what it looks like. And, I want to give hope and a vision that it's possible. And just like, you just have to still keep fighting for it, though. It's not like you're going to sit back and it's going to come to you. You have to, put the effort out and the risk out and put yourself out there. But yeah, it's just like, it's what, maybe there's 3 or 4. Whatever, it's terrible. And even now the numbers have gotten worse for female directors. There was a time where I felt like it was getting better. And just in this latest regime, it's just like, it's kind of, it's not good again. But I just, when I talk to the programmers at the film festivals, it's not like there's just as many films by girls as men trying to get entered into film festivals. So there's something broken later on. It's not that the desire, same thing. It's like, there's so many films made by, diverse people, whatever that voice is, that's not the voice that always gets hired, the person that always gets hired. And I feel like that's the thing that, we just have to keep believing in, that we have a voice, and my voice is different and I see things differently, and it's valid. And whatever, I'm so happy in literature we have different books by women, huge market for that. It's like, yeah, and I wish, and I think it just keeps coming and going. It's a business and whatever, but I just, it's important to just put it out there to make sure that people see that it's possible, but we have to fight for it and also call it out, because, it's the truth.
Yeah. Well, I can't thank you enough for doing this.
Sure.
Like I said, I've always been a fan, and then just kind
Thank
of
you.
doing a day's worth of research, I realized how much of a fan I was, even more so
Thank
than
you.
I had already thought. If anybody wants to track, what's the status on the best summer?
I'm doing like a festival run this year. So I'm doing a bunch of festivals. I want distribution for it. So I'm trying to find, we definitely got a lot of interest from Sundance. And so now I'm like having meetings with people and hearing what the plan is. Because, the nice thing about making a film like this, I made it all by myself. And so I own it. So it's one person. And that's also really rare, to make a film that you don't owe anybody any money, or you just made it all by yourself. And so that way I can, other than like making sure whatever decision I make makes all the bands, I want the bands are all, I want them all involved and happy about it. I want somebody that loves this music and sees it, and also sees like people just really loved it. I mean, what the critics I never got such great reviews. It was, people just, it gives them joy. And that's, I hope there's a distributor that sees the theatrical in that, and also this, and yes, I want the streamers, but I also, it's part of this. Yeah. I also want to make sure it's protected. Yeah.
For sure. Have you given any thought about touring it like a band?
I know. I'd like to. Yeah, I think that's the thing I'd love. I'd love to. It plays like a concert. When people go and see it, it's a concert film and really makes people happy. And that's why I like the festivals, because it feels like a festival, feels like that. But yeah, I'd love that. I'd love to tour it like a band. And there are also a lot of these bands are still, are playing and doing really well. So even just playing in some of those cities and coordinating that. Yeah, that's what I'd love. I'd love somebody who come up with a plan like that and be like, let's do it. I mean, yes.
Oh, it'd be great. It'd be absolutely great. Tamra, thank you not just for doing this and having this conversation with me, but for everything you've done, everything you've created, everything you continue to do. You are absolutely incredible. And like I said, you are kind of the through line through so much of my cultural growth. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I'm so grateful and blessed that I got to be there and just reflect the things that I saw and loved in our beautiful pop culture world.
My thanks again to Tamra for joining me on the show today. The Best Summer premiered at Sundance and has yet to find distribution, but you can visit thebestsummer1995.com and sign up for updates of when it may be playing near you. You can also follow Tamra on Instagram at Tamra Davis1 and follow her YouTube channel at TamTD. That's TAMMTD. There is so much good stuff to get lost in up there. Check it out. Links to all of those are, of course, as always, in the show notes. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to the Yo, That's My Jawn podcast wherever you get your podcasts from. And gang, it is still never too late to get yourself a super awesome Jawn Scout Merit Badge for Citizenship of the World just by rating and reviewing us. Don't forget to visit www.yothat'smyjawn.com for the link tree with links to articles, merchandise, all of the previous episodes of this podcast, guest appearances on other podcasts, and more. And while you are there, please be sure to sign up for our mailing list to get all of the updates delivered straight into your inbox. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/YoThat'sMyJawn for updates and live streams. Follow us on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Substack at Yo That's My Jawn, and search Yo That's My Jawn on YouTube to find the Yo That's My Jawn YouTube channel. Like and subscribe the heck out of that ish. We want to hear from you. Reach out, and touch some Jawn. Season 7, baby. Can you believe it? I sure as hell can't. But we're back, and I am so happy to be back, and I'm glad you've decided to join me on this crazy little podcast endeavor once again. Guys, blue skies. Until next time, everybody. That's my Jawn. Displace the guilt and embrace the pleasure. You taste things that don't need to be measured. Yo, That's My Jawn is a Lonely Monk production. Written and produced by yours truly, Nate Runkle. Theme song by me, under the moniker Nate 3.0. Special thanks to Fox Run Brands, DX Ferris, Andrew Scott, Maggie Poulos, Dan Drago, Natalie Runkle, and the beautifully vibrant and wickedly stunning Katie Daubney. If you or anyone you know has any ideas they would like to share or any guests they would like to hear on the podcast, please feel free to reach out to us at yothat'smyjawn@gmail.com or hit us up on the socials at Yo That's My Jawn. Until next time, be sure to displace the guilt and embrace the pleasure. Tilt your head back and shout to the world, Yo, that's my Jawn.